today for Waipa District Library's Heritage Month, and today we're visiting the Regent Theatre to talk to Allan Webb. Allan was awarded a Queen's Service Medal in 2014 for services to the film industry.
This we found on the wall when we started pulling it to pieces at Pixie Caramel, which was very popular in the older days. And this here came from the St James Theatre in Auckland. It's actually an original invitation for people to see the Queen in 1953 in December. The £1 Million Note was the film that they screened for her. Next to it on the right, it's a three-dimensional of the film in 70mm that screened at Cinerama Theatre in Auckland, and it was Ice Station Zebra. And that is a copy of the £1 Million Note. The reel over there, 70 is a Cinerama reel. It came from Cinerama Theatre in Auckland. It's actually got the date on it, 1960. Originally the theatre had 800 seats, and this was the circle, which had 250, and it didn't have the slope that it's got now. It's been refloored several times and reseated many times. Now seats 140. This was the back stalls, and there's a drop down there, and then the front stalls was there forward. And this lamp house here came from the Embassy Theatre in Wellington. They had two of those, air-cooled because it got so hot, and if you wanted to buy a house, it would be comparable to the cost of one of those. 16mm projector, which were very, very famous projectors. They came from Chartwell. This is a Bowers B5 projector from the Otara Luxury Cinema, which became the Starlight Theatre. When it was opened by two gentlemen, Roycroft and Postlethwaite, it was probably, in my opinion, one of the best theatres in the world, the way it was run. It was extremely well run with extremely good presentation. We were very, very lucky in Papeete to have two theatres. This is the ice cream stand for the tray boy. It's a ticket box holder for the tickets at the Carlton Theatre in Hamilton. The piano, it's so old and it was used for silent movies at the Empire Theatre down the road. This seat here is from White in Wellington. Not very comfortable, although they look nice. That's the Civic Theatre in the stalls in Auckland. Beautiful seats, not very comfortable either. And those beautiful stands with all those different parts, all individual parts that were put together to make that. They came out of the Civic Theatre in Auckland. The doors over there came from the Empire Theatre down the road, over 100 years old. The R came from the Regent Theatre, beautiful in Wanganui. This is a 70mm projector which came out of Rainbow's End. Very, very heavy because of the width of the film. In the theatres they used to have two people to man them with the two projectors because they were so heavy. And the big black thing at the front is the lens, and at the time that they put it in, they were worth $60,000. COVID, we are not able to get the posters like we used to in advance. So they were empty for so long, I decided that I would put all these LP covers of films, soundtracks, so the films, so I couldn't afford to buy all those posters if you could get them. Some of them will be worth far, far too much. And put them in as a display so that people can see all the old films and the fact that they had soundtracks on long playing records. This board here came from the Regent Theatre in Hamilton. We've got two of those, and the other one came from the Embassy. They're curved, rather attractive. And these beautiful doors here made of kauri came from the Civic Theatre in Auckland. It's 1929. Now you just think of the type of workmanship that went into building something like that. Have a look at the beautiful design on that door, and to think of it, I've got three, these two and one other one, and every one of those is the same. Now they didn't have all the equipment that we've got today. You can guarantee that we wouldn't be able to do the same thing today. This is our latest edition, which has only just been finished, and these are for all the posters that I wanted to put on display so that people can see them in the future. It's amazing how many people do look at them and they're so interested in them. This here was the reserved ticker box for the Empire Theatre down the road, so it's over 100 years old. That's the couch that went with the two King and Queen chairs upstairs in Cinema 1, and they were made locally for the theatre. The next one along is a 3-seater, which is very, very rare and came out of theatre in Christchurch. And further down, you'll see both the ice cream tray and the confectionery tray. Kerridge used to call his confectionaries bars nibble nooks. And just beyond the nibble nook is a double-seater. And in England, they call them love seats. The curtain came from the Central Theatre in Pabatoe. It was installed by Mrs. Tracy in 1956 for CinemaScope. It's been cut down. It was used at the Lanzana Theatre in Tigawiti, and then it was brought here. This is 2 shops and now 1 theatre. They're over 100 years old and they came from the Cameo in 1929. They were in the Empress foyer on the ceiling. So they were in terrible condition and they were in storage, and I asked if I could buy them. Anyway, they gave them to me and they've been restored since by John Metcalf. So this was part of the foyer. I decided to put in an 18-seater. It's very intimate. The older people love it, and it has a beautiful big screen which is wall to wall, and it is so big that I couldn't put a curtain in. So I asked Ross Clark at the time, unfortunately he died since, if we could have one that went down and went up again.